Hey guys, David Pingree here with Racer X. What a really cool project bike today. It's a 2019 Husqvarna 125, and tried a couple different things on this thing. This was from the guys over at Wiseco. Wanted to do something cool. They've got a piston out now that's made for just two-stroke racing, and we'll talk about that more in a second, but it was really to focus on trying that piston. They didn't want to do any motor work. The engine's completely stock on this thing. All right, we did some suspension work. This is obviously WP cone valve forks, which is spring fork. This is their high-end spring fork if you were going to buy something aftermarket from them. Great fork, and a Trax shock that goes along with it. I've used these in the past. They work really well. Today on the track again, had that same feeling, just very planted, very predictable, very solid. And they had set this up for me, so immediately it was comfortable and felt great. Lots of little chop out here, but it's all some drop-offs and big landings, so no issues whatsoever. Everything worked awesome. And it's a 125, so they handle well anyway. Some of the other parts are a lot of the Husqvarna hard parts. So brake caps, bar clamp mounts here, brake and clutch lever, covers on the cylinder, all the little blue anodized parts, the triple clamp, that's all Husqvarna hard parts. So you can get that directly from Husqvarna and buy those. And Nick's Pro X rotors on this thing, Pro X filter, a lot of little parts from them. And you can see we've got a Moto seat cover. It has Boysen replacement valves, not the V-Force reed block, but the Boysen valves, and Pro Taper bars, ODI grips on here. So a lot of good parts on this thing. And Vista Designs did the graphics. Those guys do a really good job and did a cool camo look on this thing. But the idea behind this was to really try to feel the piston. Also has a Pro Circuit pipe and silencer. And what they did was dynoed this thing with just this setup with a standard piston. So Pro Circuit pipe and silencer, the Boysen reed valves, dynoed it, threw this Wiseco piston in, and dynoed it again, and they got an additional horsepower out of it. So I want to bring in our Wiseco rep here just to explain a little bit more about this piston. Thanks for coming out today. We really had fun on this thing. You guys have the Racer Elite piston, and I want you to explain a little bit, because you talked to me through it, but I don't feel like I can explain it well enough. So tell me what this thing's all about and what the concept is behind it.
The two-stroke Racer Elite piston is our new racer-focused two-stroke piston. It's forged from a 2000 series alloy instead of a 4000 series alloy, which is an industry first for two-stroke pistons. It features a couple of our proprietary coatings. It's got armor plating on the crown and in the ring grooves. That helps prevent wear from detonation and also micro-welding in the ring grooves. It's also got our new skirt coating called Armor Fit, which it's a moly-based skirt coating that's screen printed on. But what's cool about it is if you order the piston for your correct bore size, the coating actually fits itself and conforms to your bore, so you have the proper piston to wall clearance.
And so you don't have to worry about bores being off at all. Sometimes it's tough to measure that, or?
As long as you measure your bore and the measurement you get for your bore, you order the piston for that bore size, you shouldn't have to worry about where your piston to wall clearance is at.
And you guys, it's basically you got a whole horsepower out of this performance-wise. So not only do you get some durability, protection against detonation, you're making more horsepower.
Exactly. The 2000 series alloy is a very strong alloy, but it allows us to keep a nice light part. So you get that performance out of it with a light part, but the stronger alloy with the coatings to help it.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we definitely appreciate you coming out. The power on the track is noticeable. It's difficult for me to tell. Obviously, I didn't go standard piston and then to this piston, but I can tell you that with just a pipe and silencer and this piston in there, this thing goes. Typical 125, you got to get the RPMs up a touch to make the power come on, but once it comes on, this thing pulls hard and long and just a blast to ride. Typical 125, but this is a much quicker version. So, and what these guys are saying is you can run kind of a leaner setting because you're not worried about detonation. So not everybody wants to do that. You can still obviously shorten the life of it, but it does give you a little bit of breathing room there if the temperature drops or you go down in elevation or whatever the reason is and your bike might be a touch lean. There's some protection there. So a lot of different benefits to it. I can tell you that on the track it was a lot of fun. I always have fun riding a 125, but something with a little extra horsepower is always more fun than a standard bike. So we had a ball on this thing. Thanks to Wiseco for one, letting us try this thing and introducing us to that new piston. If you're in the market for something, check those guys out. That's a really cool sort of industry first product, and you can find out about it on their website, wiseco.com. Check those out. You can learn about that piston there, and thank you to everyone involved in this build. Dunlop is one person I didn't mention. Always a go-to for our tires. Best traction out there. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next project.